Hi students, welcome back. So for today, we'll be talking on chapter 6, Light and the Solar System. Okay students, before I go further into the topic for the day, you need to know what are the terms that you should be familiar with. First is luminous and non-luminous. Luminous means things or items or objects that has light, whereas non-luminous are things that does not have light. So, luminous objects are objects that can generate their own light. For example, the sun. Whereas illuminated objects are objects that are capable of reflecting light to our eyes. For example, the moon. So how can you actually see images or objects? You can see the objects that are non-luminous because everything reflects light. The reflected light rays bounce off objects and into our eyes. Okay? It can be worked out using the ray diagrams. Students. So let's think. Why do you think the surface of the metal slide looks shiny under the bright sun? Any idea? Yes, congratulations, you got it right. It's called reflection. So what is reflection? Now, the main concept of reflection is on a smooth surface, the light rays are reflected in the same direction and the image is formed on the surface. However, if it's a rough surface, the light rays are reflected in different directions. So no images will be formed on the surface. So this is a reflection in a plane mirror. You will notice a line called the normal line and a plane mirror. There is incident ray and a reflected ray as well. But the most important part of this is to make sure the angle of incidence is the same as the angle of reflection. Only then the image of reflection can be seen. For reflection, there are two main laws that you will need to remember. The first, the angle of incidence has to be equal to the angle of reflection. And the incident ray, the reflected ray, as well as the normal line is in the same plane. A very simple example that you would have seen, and I'm sure many of you would have seen this. The word ambulance on a van. It's laterally inverted so that it reads correctly when you're seeing from a driving mirror. Have you seen this before? Okay, students, so now I have two questions. Can you tell me what is reflection? Yes, the answer is bouncing of light off a surface. Next, which surface reflects light the best? Is it rough paper, wooden table, a mirror, or cloth? Yes, it's the mirror. Okay, students. Now, why do you think the lines appear distorted when you look at them through the glasses of water? Any idea? Anything that you put into a glass of water will look distorted. Have you thought why? I hope you guessed it right. Yes, it's called refraction. Oops! But what is refraction? Refraction is the bending of light when it travels from one medium to another. For example, from air to water or water to oil. So different mediums refract different type of bending of light. I'm sure by now you know that light travels at different speeds in different mediums. So if you look at the picture below, the incoming light ray is being refracted when it crosses from the air into the water. Why? Why does this change occur? This change occurs due to the change in speed when they are traveling in different substances. So when the light actually travels in a denser substance, for example, from the air into the water, the waves will slow down, which means the refracted light, tends to bend towards the normal line. And students, this slide shows you the difference between reflection and refraction. How the object's image is reflected to our eyes and how the pencil looks bent when it's inside a glass of water. Did you actually know reflection and refraction has many real-world uses even in our daily lives? Let me explain. Reflection is used daily, literally daily, using your mirrors, your car headlights. Some houses uses solar cookers as well as the rear view mirrors. And refraction, on the other hand, are used in your glasses, camera, microscopes, even on rainbows and optical fibers. Okay, students, this slide shows you the difference between reflection and refraction. I will need you to copy this into your notebooks to understand better as your notes, to refer it later when you need to do revision. Okay? Okay, students, to wrap up the lesson for the day, the next 2 slides will be questions that has answers in it as well. So you can go through the questions and answers. I hope you understood what the topic is all about, and I'll see you in the next class.